Hello everyone, I welcome all to my Day 6 React.js in-depth tutorial. So this is my YouTube channel where you'll find videos on React.js. There are 5 videos, these are all crash course videos. It covers from the beginner's level in React.js to the advanced level because you will find the concept on Redux, then Redux and Firebase. So even along with these React.js videos, you will find videos on Angular 8 concept also. There are 8 videos on Angular 8. Even you will find videos on CSS3 concept also. So there are 3 videos on CSS3, HTML5. There are 4 videos on HTML5. So it's the best place to learn to start web developing career. So without wasting our time, we will start our today's session. So today we are going to learn one of the important concepts in React.js, that is the lifecycle method. Lifecycle hooks in React.js. We will cover all the methods, all the lifecycle method one by one. So before going to the lifecycle method, I want to like structurize my project that we have developed till now. So we need to modularize our project a little bit. We have to divide our code into sub modules. So like up to day 5 in app.js we have written like a number of lines. So app.js is crowded with lot of lines. So actually app.js is a component which is used for managing the state. Okay, because we have defined the state here. So here, okay. So this is the component, this is the main component which is used to manage the state. So always our target or our goal should be like the component which is used for managing the state. In that component there should be less code in the render method. So that's why I have removed some of the code. If you see, like if you compare with day 4 videos, here there is a change. I have removed that array iteration to create the employee component. Instead of that I am using the employees tag directly here. Then you will find the code regarding to the header content, like this button, this paragraph, then this header, this paragraph, this button, all this kind of stuff I moved to a header component. So that's why if you see in the render method we have less code. So because it's a main component and it's a stateful component which is used for managing the state. So for the stateful component, the component which is responsible for managing the state, our goal should be there should be less code within this, less JSX code within the render method. Okay, so that's why I removed some of the code to the employees component and some of the code to the header component. So we'll see. So before that, one more thing I will mention, like I have created a container folder under SRC. In the container I moved all these files into the container folder. App.js, app.test.js, app.modular.js. All these files I moved into the container folder. As I moved the app.js into the container folder, so that's why we have to change the index.js file, the import path. Okay, so earlier it was ./app. We have to add container because now it is within the container folder. The app.js is within the container folder. So here just a one line of change you have to make so that our application won't crash. Okay, then as I explained, I have created a component folder. In the component folder I have a header component as well as a employees component. So we'll go to the header component first. So header.js, it is already open. In header.js, if you see, this is my header.js. It's a functional component. We are creating the component using the function, having a parameter props. So the code that we have commented, we will come to that later. Don't worry about that. Then these are the code which was earlier written in app.js file for setting the class dynamically on the basis of some condition. This is the class which we are setting on the button element. So we are setting on the basis of dynamically. If the condition is satisfied, then we have to add a red class. to the button element. If not satisfied, it means initially it has button class. So all this kind of stuff I already covered in my day 5 videos. So please go through that. Then we have an array. So this is also the code that we have written in day 5 in app.js file. So I remove that code from there to here because these are the code that we need in our return statement, because here also we are creating a array in which we are dynamically adding the classes on the basis of some conditions, on the basis of number of employees. Okay, and what we are doing here, we are assigning that class to our paragraph element. Okay, so these are some of the code that we have written in the app.js file. I moved into a different component, header component, and in place of this code, what I have used, the header component. So we have used, and we have passed the probes to that header component, because in header component we need the employee length. On the basis of employee length, we are applying the CSS. We are applying the classes to the p paragraph element. That's why we need employee length as a props to the header. So we have to provide the employee length as a props. So it is equal to the length of the employee that is present in our state. Then we have show employees prop also, in which we will provide whether we have to show the employees or not. It's a true and false value, right? If you have followed up to day 5, you could be able to understood what show employees contains. So this is our state. Show employee contains false and true, and we are toggling this show employees on the basis of when the toggle button is clicked. Okay, in this function. So we have to pass the show employee also, right? This, and we have to pass the click prop also, so that when the toggle button is clicked, our employee will be shown. When it is clicked again, the employee will be hidden. And in show employee, we are passing true and false values. Why it is needed? Because on the basis of this true and false, we are adding some classes dynamically. So as it is a functional component, so it's a function component. So that's why it is having a parameter props. Will get access to those props by using props dot the name that we have provided in app.js file. Okay, this is how we move the code from here to here, so that only our app component only contains the head tag, nothing else. So it should be like we should always target to keep less code within this app component, which is the main component, which is used for managing the state. Similar wise, so earlier we have created employee component on the basis of array iteration. So now what I have done, I moved that array iteration to the employee component. I have created an employee component. It's a class component extending the component, and we have to import the employee component that we have created earlier, like up to day 5. Then within the render statement, we have to, I am doing the iteration here. So this is the code. The entire up to this code was earlier written within the app component, which means it is written here. So these 4 to 5 lines of code was written earlier within app component. So I moved that code to the employees component, and I have used the employee tag here, and I have provided the prop that is needed for creating the employee. So first of all, we need the employees array prop. So I am providing this employees array. Then we need the changed, means we need the reference to the name change handler, so that when we type into the input field, then our name should be changed, right, to a data binding. Then we have to provide the the delete employee handler reference, because if we will click on the paragraph in the employee, then that employee will be deleted. So these are all the props that we have to sent to the employee component. And in the employees component, we'll access that probe. So it's a class-based component because it is extending the component. So that's why we can access this probe by using this keyword. Just remember, header is a functional component. It's not a class-based component because we are creating the function here. So that's why it is having a prop. So that's why we do not need this dot props. We can directly access props dot name. But its employee is a class-based component. That's why we have to use this dot props dot employee. So this employee matches with the props that we are providing in the employees component. This prop. So it will get the array of employee. Then we are iterating through this map, like this array, and we are creating the employee component. The same story repeat, and the change here is again like this. In the employee component, we have to pass the props, the changed prop. This is the changed prop, is corresponding to this one. This is used for calling the name change handler function for two-way data binding. Whatever the user will type in the input field, that will be reflected in the employee name. For that, we are passing props.change, then whatever the parameter that you want to pass to that function. Then for the click also, like for delete purposes, we are passing this.props.click. So this dot click corresponds to this one, the delete function. So whatever the props we need, we are passing here. So all this code was clearly written in app component. We have moved this to the employee component, and we have used this employee component in place of that code, so that the number of lines decreases, and since our render method is now having some minimum lines of code. So this is actually the best practice for those stateful components. The component is used to change the state, manage the state. Okay. So clear, right? So this is the structure that I have changed, and even like for the header.js file, I have created the header module.css, and these are the CSS that we need to apply to the button, to this button, and to the p element. So these are the CSS which was written earlier in app.css file. So if I will remove app.module.css file, it contains only one class, the class that we are applying into the enclosing div tag. That's it. The rest of the CSS I move to the header module.css file, because the code is now moved to the header.js file. So the corresponding CSS we have to move to the header module.css file, and we have to refer to this header module.css file using the CSS module approach. So we are importing it here, right? So this is all covered, like how we can access these classes in my day 5 videos. Please go to that. And what else changes I made? Even we have employee module.css file which we have created in our day 5. There is no change in this. Okay, so this is also not needed. This was not needed at all. So these are the only changes. The changes is like I have created first changes is I have created a container folder in which I moved all my app related code, app.js, app.module.js, app.js. So as I move the app.js into the container folder, that's why we have to change the import path in the index.js file here. Okay. And then what next? So I have created some sub components, some new components. So for that I have created a component folder. Within the component folder, I have created a header component and an employees component. In the header component, if you open again, so header component contains the code up to this entire code is present in the header component. Okay. See, if we go to the app component, we won't see this. Hi all, welcome to React. All this text we won't see here. your entire code is moved to the header component. So in header.js file, we will see all those codes, all the text. Hi all, welcome to React.js. So this is the changes so that our app component render method contains minimum number of code. So I move this code to the header component, and we have to refer the header component here, and whatever the props needed by this header component, we have to provide it right in this way. Okay. And why it is in parentheses, we will come to that later. Don't worry about that. And why I have used this remove header button also will come to that. Okay. And the next change is I have created an employees component. In the employees component, I am creating the single employee on the basis of array iteration. Earlier, this iteration and creation of employees component dynamically was written within the app.js file here, because we have to create it on the basis of condition when so employees here it was written. So I move this code to the employee component and I refer the employees component here, and whatever the props required we are providing. Whatever the props required for creation of employee component within the employees component, those props we are providing it here. Okay. So these are these are the changes in the folder structure. The main purpose is our render method of our main component should have minimum amount of code. It should not be messed up with lots of code. So this is all about the change in the folder structure. And now we'll move to the lifecycle method in React.js. Okay. So we'll start with this. So there are a couple of lifecycle methods. So there are some of the lifecycle method which is being called during the creation of the component, and there are some lifecycle methods which are being called when the component gets updated. So we will first cover the lifecycle method which is being called when the component is created. It's mounted in the DOM. Okay. So this is our this lifecycle method we will call only in the class-based component. For function-based component, we have a different approach, the React hooks approach. We'll see that too. Don't worry. So it's app is a class-based component because we are extending the component here, and we have a constructor. And whenever we will call the constructor, it always receives the props for this component. Along with we have to call the super constructor using the props. So super, it will call the constructor of the component class. We are extending the component class, so it's a parent component. Whenever we will call the constructor of app or whatever the child component, we have to call the constructor of the parent also by using the super keyword. So I have written a console log statement, that's it, so that we will see which lifecycle executed in which sequence, in what sequence. So what is the use of constructor? In constructor we usually do initialization of class property. Most importantly, we will do initialization of state. Whatever we have written here, actually this we should move to the constructor. So it should be like this way. So if I will move, so if I will comment here and I will move to within the constructor, and we have to use this keyword. Within the constructor we have to use this keyword. So here we have usually in the constructor we initialize our state with the some initial value. So I will undo my code. I will keep my code as it is outside the constructor. Okay. So then we have a get derived state from props. So constructor is not a lifecycle method, but it is a method which is being called fast. It is not a lifecycle method. The lifecycle method starts from here. Get derived state from props. It's a static method. We should use static keyword. Static means this method is called by using the class name. For this method to be called, we don't React.js don't need to create the object for app. It will be called by the class name directly. So that's why it's a static method. Those who know Java, they can able to figure it out why it is being static keyword is being used. Okay, and those who don't know, that's okay. Just remember we have to use static keyword with get derived state from probes lifecycle method. So we receive two parameters, one probes, another state. Okay. So in this method we have to return the state. So what is the use of this method? This method is used to, like, whatever the probes receive. This method is also used to initialize the state or to sync our current state according to the probes. Whenever the probes change, this function will call and we can synchronize our state according to the probes received. So actually truly speaking, so this method is very rarely used in our practical project. So this is for bit of knowledge. So I am like showing this, but this is very rarely used. For updating the state on the basis of probes, we have some different method also. This is very rarely used. And in this method, we have to return the state, current state. Okay. Then we have component did mount method. This is the important method. This method is called when our component get loaded in the browser, get mounted in the browser, get mounted in the DOM. Okay. And this is the method in where we'll do Ajax call or side effects. Like here we'll call do the Ajax call, HTTP call to the server, fetch the database, then we can change the state within the then method of the Ajax call. So all kind of side effects Ajax call will do in component did mount method. So this is the last method which is being called once the component is created. So during the creation of the component, three methods are executed. One is constructor, another is get derived state from probes, which is used for synchronize our state as per the probes received, or also it can also be used to initialize our state, just we have done in constructor. We have to return the state, and this is a static method. Then the final method will be component did mount, which is called when our component get mounted or get rendered completely. Okay, and we have another method also, component will mount. So before did mount we have component will mount. If you see, there are a couple of methods: will mount, will receive probes. So will mount and will receive probes, these are two methods which are depreciated. So nowadays it is not being used. If you use this, we will get some warning. Although our code works, but we will get warning. These are not being used nowadays. Okay. So I don't want to show this. It's not being used. And see, the sequence of this will be like when our component get created, the sequence of lifecycle method will be first constructor is called, then this function get derived state from probes is called, then render method is called. Okay. After render method, our component did mount is called. It's the final method. So we'll see. Let me save it. We'll see what are the method which has been executed in the sequence. That's why I have put some console statement. Okay. So see, first the constructor is called of app.js, then get derived state from probes is called of app.js, then render method is called, and component did mount is the last method. This is the method where we'll do Ajax call, the side effect. The Ajax call, or if you want to send some request to the Google Analytics, or if you want to store something in the local storage or session storage, all kind of side effects we'll do in this method. This is the last method when the component gets mounted in the DOM. Okay. I mean when the component is being created, you can say. So we have seen the method during the creation of component. Now we'll see the method like some other lifecycle method which is being executed when our probes changed. Okay. So during the updation, so for that we'll go to the employee.js file. It's also a component based, so class based component. So these are the methods. Let me undo and uncomment this code so that it will be executed. Okay, up to here. There are lot many methods. Okay, don't worry about that. We'll cover each one by one. So when the props, so this is a component which receive props from app component. Okay, because if you see in the app component, we have employees which receive props from this app component. So whenever this props change, props means if the employees of the state change, then our employees props get changed. Okay. Similarly, like if now it is referring to the name change handler, if this function gets changed, if it is referred to some other function, then our props get changed. So employees receive 3 props, 2 function and 1 each array of employees. Okay. So we'll see that. So here there are the functions which are executed in the sequence when the props change is like first of all get derived state from props is called. So this function is called during the component creation as well as during the updation also. Then should component update is called. This is the main function in which we, like if we are returning true value, it always return true or false, boolean value. If we are returning true, then our browser means our component related to the employees, our employees component get updated. If you return false, even though props change, our employee component won't get updated. So true, we have to return true for updation, and if you want to stop the updation, we have to return false. So this is the method should component update. It takes 2 parameter next props and next state. So here console log the state and props here also. Don't worry, we'll see. Then after this, so after should component update, it will call this one. I guess after should component update, it will call the render method. Okay. After the render method, it will call get snapshot before update. So get snapshot before update. So this is also a method like which we rarely use. So it is the previous prop and previous state. And in this like method, we have to return a null or an object. And this method is usually required like if you like you can consider scenario if we have changed something in a table. In tabular, we are representing the records in a table and we have changed some rows in the table, and I want the scroll position to be in that row. That row should get highlighted. So how can we do that? We have to return the snap object or the coordinates of that row, and whatever we return from here, we'll get that in the component did update. And here in component did update, we'll maintain that scroll position. We'll highlight that updated row. The component did update is the last method which is being called when our state get updated or our props get updated. Okay. So once again the sequence is first get derived state from props, then should component update. If it is true, then only the render method will execute it. If it is false, the render method won't execute it. It will stop here. So as it is true now, so the render method will execute it. After render method, we will call the get snapshot before update. After that, the component did update will call, and it is the last method. And here, this is also a method in which we will do AJAX call, the call to the server. And after getting the data, and means in the AJAX call, we will return the promise, and in the then block, if you want to update the state, then also we can do within the then block. We'll see that later when we will fetch the data from the server. So like all kind of side effects we can do in component did update, or we can do in component did mount, which we have seen in the app. Okay, and component did mount is called only once, and component did update is called every time our props or state change. Okay, we'll see that in action. Don't worry. So on page load, once again I will show you. On page load means all the lifecycle method related to the creation of component is called, which are being written in app component. So the sequence is first constructor of the component is called, then get derived state from props lifecycle method is called, then render method. So once this render method is called, it will call the render method, or it will call all the lifecycle method of children. Okay, so currently the children is the employee. So the employee component is not showing here unless and until we click here. That's why we are not seeing here the render method of employees component. So the sequence should be like, once it reaches the render method of parent component, it will call all the lifecycle method of corresponding nested child component. It will call the render method of child component. Once that is executed, then finally it will call the component did mount of that parent component. So component did mount is always the last method, which is called when our component is created. And here we will do all kind of Ajax code, the side effects. Okay. So let me remove that. So what we'll see, let me click on this. On click of toggle, we are displaying the employees. So means employee component get created. Click on the toggle. Okay. So you will see on click of toggle, we are updating our on click of toggle button. The toggle button is in the header component. On click of, this is the button, on click of toggle button, we are calling this click prop. The click prop is we are passing through in the click prop we are passing toggle employee function. Okay, you see we are passing toggle employee handler. We'll go to the toggle employee handler. So in toggle employee handler, if you have followed up to day 5 videos, we are changing the state show employee. Initially it was false, now we are negating it to true. So that's why we are seeing the employee. So we are changing the state. As I told, when the state change, then some of the lifecycle method corresponding to the updation get called. And in app.js, we have only for updation related kind of things, we have only one method, get derived state from props, then render method. So that's why our get derived state from props is called again. This is a method which is called during the creation as well as during the updation, and render method is always called whenever a state or prop get updated. And don't worry about this error. It is saying like in the employee component. So like on click of toggle button, you are able to see the employees, the list of employees. So our employee component gets created, employees component, on click of toggle button, because in app component we have written on click of toggle button we are making show employee state to true, and in the render method we are writing if it is true then only we have to create the employee component. So that's why on click of toggle the employee component get created. So it will call all the creation method in the employee component, the get derived state from props, then the render method. We have only two methods in employees component related to the creation. If we write component did mount in employees component, then at the end the component did mount of employees component will get called. Okay, And if you see, once the render method of parent is called, the render method of child is called. And if there will be any other nested child, then the render method of that children is also being called. And don't worry about this error. It is saying get derived from state. So this is a function where we have to return the state. But employees, in the employees we don't have any state initialized, but we have returning the state. So that's why we are getting this error. Okay, it is saying we have to use this.state in the constructor to rectify this error. We have to initialize some state. So as it is giving error, we don't need state here. So let's comment this. Before commenting, we'll see in get derived state from props, we are receiving props and state. Okay. So the props, we can see we are logging the props also. In props, we are getting the 3 arrays of employees and we are getting the change function and click function. And the state is undefined because we don't have any state. That's why we are getting, as it is a null, that's why we are getting this error. So we'll comment this function. This function is not needed at all. If I will save, that error will go on. Okay. So let me click on the toggle button. Now you won't see that error. So here we will see the lifecycle method related to the updation. Updation means updation of props. So how we can update the prop? So if I will type something here in this input field which is present in the employee component, So in the employee component, if we are typing something, we are calling onChange method, in which we are calling props.change. We go to the employees.js file, in which we have employee component. So in the change props, we are calling the changed method props. Okay, we are calling the change method, and which is also a prop. So we'll go to the app.js. In here, in the changed props, we are calling namechange handler. So we are in namechange handler, we are updating the name. So we will go to the namechange handler. So here we are updating the state with the new name. So this is where we are updating. Okay, we are updating that corresponding object with a new name, the name that user has entered. Then we are updating the state. So as the state corresponding to the employees get updated, and we are passing this employees as a prop to the employees component. So the props get changed. As the props get changed, so I told you, like, when the props get changed, some of the lifecycle method will be called. So these are the lifecycle method which has been called, starting from get derived state from props to component did update. We'll see. So I will type anything, just keep an eye on the console. It called all the lifecycle method related to the update. So just ignore the first two, because first two are related to app component, and this is the method that I told, like it is called during updation as well as creation, and render method is always called when you update anything. So as we are updating the state, so that's why these two are called. The main area of concentration is the employees component. So first it is calling suit component update. So in suit component update, so first it will call this one. I have commented that, that's why it is not showing. Then it will call suit component update. In suit component update, we are getting next props and next state. So if we will expand the array, we'll find the next props. Okay, means the new props, the updated props. If you see, the name is Anil K, the new prop. Earlier it was Anil, but now it is Anil K. The new prop you will get, and for the state we will get null. We are console logging the state also. So because no state, so it is coming null. Then after the suit component update, it will call the render method. Employee.js render called, means it is calling this render method to update our UI. So as I told, once the render method is called, then it means once the render method parent is called, then render method of all the children are called. So within this, the children is employee. So that's why the render method of employee component get called. After that, again it will call get snapshot before update. It will call this method. Once the render method of children is called, first render method of parent, then render method of children, then it will come back to the parent again. It will call get snapshot before update. It will receive previous prop and previous state, and will return some configuration. Will return some snapshot object, so that will return the scroll position in the UI. So we'll see the previous prop also. This is the previous prop. So let me expand. So in the array, if you will see the Anil, the previous name, not the updated name. Updated name is Anil K. Okay, so that's why you will get previous prop, and state is anyways it is null. Then after this, the final method will be component did update. So this is the final method which is called, in which we do some Ajax operation. And as I told, whatever the snapshot object we return here, we will get it here, and we are console logging the snapshot here. That's why you will see the console snapshot message hello. And here we will, and whatever the configuration object we receive here, we will do some kind of setting like returning the scroll position in our UI. Okay. So these are the lifecycle methods which are being called in the sequence when the props get updated. Same lifecycle method also called when the state gets updated. So that's why, like when I am writing something, we are changing the state. So that's why we are changing the state. That's why the lifecycle method of app component get called. So whenever the state change, the update method, lifecycle method related to the updation is also called. And here we don't have other method like should component update, then component did update. If we have mentioned in app component, then also you will see here corresponding method. Okay. So what I want to say, so these are the methods, lifecycle methods which is being called when our props get updated or when state get updated. Okay. Now we'll see so now we'll see how we can handle this update, means how we can handle this lifecycle method in the functional component. We have an employee component, not employee. Let me close this one. Close this one. Yeah. We have a header component which is a functional component. How we can handle the props? How we can handle the lifecycle method here. We can also call the lifecycle method. Actually, it is not the lifecycle method. Just we are replicating. We are like replicating those lifecycle methods, but these are not actually the lifecycle methods. We can get we'll get the same kind of functionality of lifecycle method as we have in class component in the functional component using use effect React hook. We have to import use effect React hook. So let me uncomment this code. Okay, so it's I've created a functional component. Just go through the code and the return statement. We have written the code that we have written earlier in app component, so I don't want to cover that now. The main focus is the use effect hooks method. This is a hook method. Use effect takes a function. It's a function. Okay, arrow function. And in use effect, I have written a console statement and a alertify message. Along with we have a return statement in which we are returning another function. this function is used for cleanup operation. Cleanup in the sense, if we are doing some AJAX call, we are connected to the server. Here in this return function, we can remove that connection once we fetch the data from the server. All kind of cleanup operation, or when our component get removed from the DOM, get unmounted, then we will do some cleanup operation here. And for component based class, for the class based component, in that case we will do the cleanup operation in another method which is called component wheel mount. This is a method in which we will do cleanup operation. Like if we have some connection to the server, we will remove the connection here. All kind of cleanup operation. If you have some set timeout, we will clear timeout here. So all kind of cleanup operation will be done here. And sorry, the function name is incorrect. Component will unmount. It should be unmount. So this is the function which is being called when the component will get unmounted, just before the component get unmounted or removed from the DOM. Okay. And for functional based component, we'll do cleanup operation within this return statement of use effect React hook method. And like above return statement, we will do all kind of AJAX calls, side effects. We can do the HTTP calls, we can update the state, all kind of stuff we'll do here in the use effect. Okay, we'll see. Let me save it. See, once you save it, what you are getting? You are getting, just concentrate on the header. Header third use effect called means if we are loading our page, our header component get called, and header component get called means this console statement get executed, and we are getting the alertify message, alert message. Okay, this get executed. So now it is behaving just like component. Which one? It is behaving just like component did mount method. Okay, so it is behaving like component did mount method, this method, in which we will do some AJAX call. So here we can do some AJAX call on page load. Here also we can do, in component did mount, we will do AJAX call on page load. So now this is behaving like component did mount lifecycle method. So let me click on the OK. Just see, we are getting the UI, and if I will change the state means on click of toggle button. If we are changing the state, or we can say changing the props, on click of toggle button, we are, so again we will go to the toggle button. So let's go to the header.js first. So here we have a toggle button. On click of this, we are calling props.click. So we'll go to the app component. We'll see the click props. So in the click props, we are calling the toggle employee handler, which is used to change the state, show employee state from true to false. That's why we are seeing the employee. So as it is changing the state, so our render method get called, and as it is changing the state, and for the header component, we are passing the employee's length. Now on click of toggle button, we are seeing the employees, means we are getting the employees dot length. So this props get changed. So as these props get changed, that's why use effect get method get executed again for the props change, because use effect we are using show employees props as well as we are using the employee length props. These are the two props that we are passing, employee length and show employees, and these are depend on the state. On click of toggle button, the show employee state change, so the props change. On click of toggle button, we are seeing the employees, so the employee length value get changed. So the whenever, so it means this employee length and so employees props are changing on click of toggle button. As the state change, that's why this use effect method get executed one more time. So but this time it will first execute the return method, then it will execute the above one, and this is necessary. Like why it will execute the return method first? Like before executing any AJAX call, just imagine we have written some AJAX call, and before executing that AJAX call we need to reset all our other connection to the server. That's why return method is called first on updation. So first it is calling cleanup in third use effect, cleanup in third use effect, then it is calling header third use effect called, you will see, and we are seeing the alert message. Just click on OK. So in this way, whenever any props or state updated, then use effect method is called. In the updation case, return is called first, then whatever return above the return statement, that will be executed at the end. Okay. So if we change the employee name here, so we are not sending the employee prop to the header component. We are changing the employee length. So even if we are changing the employees, we will see the alert message. Let me change K. We will see the alert message, and here if you see, clear up is called and header third use effect is called. So we are changing the employees props, which is not needed at all. It is not required at all for the header component, but still this use effect method is called. So to avoid this repeated call of use effect, there is another way how we can avoid this. Now the requirement is I want to execute the use effect only when the props related to the header component get changed, and the props related to header component are two. There are two props mainly. The employees length, when number of employees get changed, I want to call the use effect. When the show employees value get changed from true to false or false to true, I want to call the use effect method. That's it. And even if the reference of the function gets changed, if it will call some other function instead of toggle employee handler, then also we want to call the use effect. We should avoid calling this use effect automatically whenever any other props or state get changed. Like here we have changed the name, and these employees details are not of any use for the header component. So we should avoid here. How we can avoid that? To avoid that, what we have to do, we have to write this one. So before that, like I'll show another method also. To avoid that also, we can do like this use effect. So we can have as many use effects as possible. So let me comment this. You can have more than one use effect, no worries. So now this use effect is called only when the show employees props get changed. Show employees props change only when we click on the toggle button. Okay, let's see that in action. Let me refresh the page. See, we are seeing second use effect called. So it always call this one on page load first. When the component gets created, it is called automatically. Then we'll click on the OK. Now what I want, on click of toggle button, now I want to call this use effect, because on click of toggle button the show employee state gets changed from false to true. That's why we are seeing the second use effect called in the console. Also you can see during the updation time clear is called first, then the content above the return statement. So clear is called first, then the content above the return statement. That's okay. Now let's see whether our fix work or not. I will change name here, and I don't want our use effect to be called, because use effect has nothing to do with the employee's detail. So it is only called when our show employees change. So let me type here. So if you see, there is nothing related to the use effect here. And when we type something like, if we are writing here our props related to the employees component get changed, that's why we are getting the console log statement from the employees component methods, lifecycle methods. Okay. And we are not seeing that alert message, because this employee detail are nothing to do with the header component. In this way we can avoid. So it will call the use effect first on page load, and after page load it will call only when the show employee state change. Okay. So let me comment this and uncomment this one. Now the requirement is, I want to call my use effect on page load as well as when I will remove this header component, when it get unmounted. So means here we will find the combination of component did mount and component will unmount. We will get combination of component. So in the classes component we have component did mount method and component will mount method. In will mount we will do cleanup operation in component did mount, which is called on page load. When the component get loaded completely, it is used for Ajax call. These two functionality we will find by using this use effect method. The only change here you will find an empty array. So empty array, if we will give the empty array, then the use effect is only called when our page load. It will execute this up to this, means it will execute this Ajax call. Just imagine this is Ajax call, and when our component get unmounted, it will call this return statement. For updation kind of things, this won't be called. So we will get the feeling of like component did mount, same functionality of component did mount and component will unmount. We'll see in action. On page load we are getting first use effect called. Okay, click on that. So let me toggle it. See, we are not getting this alert message. So that's why this use effect is called only when the page or page get loaded, or only when this header component gets removed. So we'll see like when the header, how we can remove this header component. So for that I have made some changes, some minor changes for that. In our state, in the app component, I added one more property, remove header, which is initially true. This remove header we are using here, so that's why I have put this header component within the curly braces, so that we will conditionally display this one. When the remove header is true, then we are having ternary operator. We want our header component to be shown. When the remove header get false, we won't show anything, means we will hide this header component. Okay, and this is we have created a button, a remove header button, in which we have an on click method, in which we are updating the state remove header to true to false. So on click of this button, the remove header state becomes false. So false means we are getting null, nothing is shown, and on the page load we are getting the header component. Okay, so this is the button. If I will click on this, the code up to this, whatever being written in the header component, that will be hidden, and we'll see the cleanup operation. Means the cleanup operation that we have written within this return statement. Means we will get the same functionality as component will mount. Means component will unmount method. We'll see. Let's clear this. On click of remove header, see those header component get removed, and we are getting the cleanup operation. Cleanup here. Okay, cleanup in first use effect. You're getting right. So in this way we can get access to the component did mount and component will unmount method by providing an empty array. So usually we prefer this one, which we have used. So this one has a issue. The issue is if we are changing some other state which is not of any use for this header component, then also this use effect is called. Like we have seen earlier, we will see that again. So first on page load to call the alertify message, no worries. And toggle also will call the alertify, no worries. The issue comes here. If I will change the name, or if I will remove the if I will change the name, means if we are changing the employee details, this employee detail has nothing to do with the header component. We are not sending the employee detail to the header component. If you see the header component here, we are passing only the employee length, not the employee detail. So there is nothing to do with the employee detail. So means as per the logic, if we will change something in the employee details, our use effect method should not call. Unnecessarily, there won't be needed to call this use effect and render method. How we can avoid that? We can avoid that by using, we'll see that. So let me see it in action. If I will type something, see, even though I am changing, so let me refresh again. Just a minute. Up to this we have seen. So if I will type something here, let's suppose I will type something. Whenever I am typing something, so it is calling the use effect method. So even though that change is not of any use, the employee detail change is of any use to the header component. How we can prevent that? Now I want my use effect to be called only when the props related to the header component get changed, not when the other props get changed. So we can avoid that by using react.memo. So we'll comment this, we'll uncomment this one. We have to use react.memo, and within the bracket we'll provide the component name, the function name. So in this way, like, the use effect is called only when the props related to the header component get changed. We'll see that in action. So let me save it. Yeah. On page load we'll get no issues. Now on toggle we are changing the show employees. So on click of toggle we are changing this one. So as we have seen earlier, we are changing this props. The props that we have used here, the props is one, the show employees props. We are changing the show employees, so that's why use effect will call. It will call. Up to this everything fine. Now if I will remove, if I will type something here, now see the alert message is not get called because this employee detail, we are not passing the employee detail as a prop to the header component. So we should avoid unnecessary call of use effect. This will optimize our code. So this is just we are done by using the react.memo. Okay, just remember this one. We don't have to do any import statement. Okay, and if we'll change something related to the number of employees, because we are passing the employee length as a prop. If you see the app component in the header, we are passing the employee length. We have seen when the show employees change, on click of toggle button, we are getting alertify message. Now we'll see when the employee length change, we should get the alertify message. Let's click on this. So we are getting the alertify message, and we are getting the clear and header had use effect in the console. So it means like now the use effect is get called only when the props related to that component get changed, not with the other props. Okay, here you will find the same issues in the, so let me comment this alertify message unnecessary, it is bothering us. Okay, you will find the similar issues, these issues like if you are updating some state related to, means if you are updating some different state which is having no relation with the other component, then other component is also getting updated. Unnecessary render method is called. How we can avoid that? In the component, in the class based component. So we can avoid that by returning true or false here. So instead of returning true or false, I will comment this, it is of no use. We have to use, so before that I will show you the issue in the class component, then we'll see the solution. Okay, now if you see in the console, on click of toggle button, on click of toggle button, like so not like that. Okay, let me click on that. So if you see, if I will click on this button, remove header, it will remove the content related to the header component. But on click of remove header, what we are doing, if you go to our app component, on click of remove header, we are changing our remove header state from true to false, and this remove header state we are not passing as a prop to the employees component. We are nowhere passing that as a props. But even though we are not passing, we will get our render method in employee.js component get called. This should component, I mean all the lifecycle method related to the updation will get called, even if the props which is not actually needed, which is of no importance for this employees component. This props is of no importance. Which one? This one, remove header. But still it is calling the update method. We'll see. Just keep an eye on the console. If I will click on the remove header, we'll see all the update method of employee component being called. Okay. So these are the methods which you don't want to call, because we are not changing anything related to the employee component. We are changing only the header component. And why should we unnecessarily call the update methods or all the lifecycle update methods in the employee component? So how we can optimize our code? For that, what we have to do, there are two things we can do. Either write some conditions which will compare the props. If this next props and the previous props are same, then return false. If they are not same, then return true, something like that, some condition. On the basis of true or false, we can avoid the updation. If it is written true, then update will happen. If it won't return true, then update won't happen. Update means render method won't call. This component did update won't call. How we can avoid that? So instead of component, we have to use pure component. Okay, this one. And we have to import the pure component from React. Okay, here. So what the pure component do? So pure component, if we are extending the pure component, then this lifecycle method and the render method will be called only when the props or state related to the component change, not when the means the props or state related to other component get changed. It is this lifecycle method is called only when the props or state related to this component get changed. So in this way we can optimize our code. We would avoid this unnecessarily call of this function. Okay, let me save it. We'll see in action. Click on the toggle button. Okay. So if I will click on this remove header, it will remove this header and it will change the state. It will change the state. Remove header property in the state from true to false, and this remove header property in the state is of no use for this employees component. So the update method should not get called. We should not render our employee component because that property is of no importance for the employee component. Let's click on the remove header. See, we are not getting any update method related, neither the render or any update method related to employee component, because that props is of no importance for the employee component. The props means at this state it is of no importance for the employee component. That's why it is not calling the update method or render method for the employee component. This we can avoid by using extending the pure component, and these same issues we can avoid in the functional component using React.memo. So using React.memo, it will call the update method. It is not the update, actually the use effect method, only when the props or state related to this component change. By extending the pure component, it will call the update method and render method only when the state and props related to this component will change. It won't call if any other props or any other state related to some other component is changed. It is called only when the props or state related to this component get changed. In this way we can optimize our code. We can avoid the unnecessary repeated rendering of component, repeated calling of our update method. Okay. So up to this, like we have covered like the lifecycle method in the class-based component, and same approach we can achieve by using the use effect React hook method in the functional component. So please go through this, and thank you guys for watching. We'll meet again in our day 7 video with some new concept on React.js. Till then, bye.